am a little bit more. Boom. Well, hello, everybody on YouTube. Finally got the YouTube stream going. So, dually live on YouTube and on Facebook. I apologize that I am so stinking late in getting the YouTube one up. As I said a little bit ago, I should have ironed out these kinks much earlier before attempting this. This is my first ever live YouTube. Never done one before. So for those of y'all who are joining me, thank you very much. If you recall, I posted earlier on the page, the Lion Tribe page, we posted some of the topics that I'm going to be talking about. I want to start with West Virginia legislation, current legislation. The West Virginia legislative session is still active until March 9th at midnight is when it ends. But there are still some bills that I have been personally advocating for and encouraging others to do as well. So I wanted to list some of those up. One that unfortunately did not make it into the other house was Senate Bill 870. This was termed the Return to Sanity bill. This would have gotten rid of diversity, equity, inclusion, and gender confusion that's being taught in West Virginia schools. The lead sponsor of that one is Senator Patricia Rucker. Unfortunately, didn't make it to the third reading in the Senate, so it didn't get to cross over to the House on crossover day, which was February 28th. House Bill 5105. Now, this is a medical freedom bill. This would grant parents and guardians of West Virginia school children, those going to K through 12 schools, the ability to exempt their kids from vaccines that they have religious objections to. So it's a religious exemption bill. West Virginia is behind on the times as far as religious freedom when it comes to vaccines. They need to get with the program, considering West Virginia is one of only, I think, 5 states still that does not allow religious exemptions. Some of our liberal neighboring states are more free than we are when it comes to that, unfortunately. The arguments that are against that bill, in my opinion, they're goofy arguments. When you really dig into the evidence about a lot of these vaccines, and you'll find out that a good bit of the vaccines don't prevent transmission of the diseases that they're intended to prevent transmission of. They only offer personal protection. So what's the point in forcing them to prevent spread? House Bill 4320. This is a little known bill. I didn't see a whole lot of buzz about this one going on social media. 4320 did pass in the House, so it's in the Senate right now. And in fact, it's on the agenda. I forget which committee it was that I saw it on. At Health and Human Resources, I believe. 4320, it gives parents full access to their children's health records. It prevents parents from having to go through any kind of process where they have to ask for special permission to access their children's medical records. The are not allowed to have access once the kid turns 18, of course, if the kid is emancipated or if the child gets married. Uh, by child, I mean 17, 16, 17, 18-year-olds marrying each other. And then the only other way to prevent parents from accessing their children's records is by court order. So if the parents are being abusive or neglectful. House Bill 5297. So this one would finally remove the idiotic Takubo Amendment that was put into, I think it was House Bill 2007 last legislative session. That amendment allowed the continued chemical castration and mutilation of minors in the state of West Virginia. The stuff that's going on in the name of so-called gender affirming care. I say it's so-called, and I like to use them air quotes a lot because gender affirming care is actually a euphemism. It's actually doing the opposite to children. It's affirming them in their delusions. I call it delusion affirming. It's definitely not care, so I can't call it that. Delusion affirming damage, delusion affirming lies. So 5297 would get rid of the rest of the chemical damage going on to kids. House Bill 5243. This one has been termed the Women's Bill of Rights. This would enforce strict definitions regarding the definition of sex in West Virginia Code and would exclude any definitions that describe men and women as only male and female. As we know, there are only two sexes. There are only two genders. Some people may disagree, but I believe sex and gender are synonyms. They're interchangeable. I've seen them on multiple documents where they can be used. Gender, male, female. Gender, man, woman. I use them interchangeably. I don't really care. Anyways, that bill is called the Women's Bill of Rights because it would enforce women-only spaces. It would prevent men and boys from accessing the private spaces of girls and women, accessing their locker rooms, accessing their bathrooms, accessing women's jails. Men don't belong there. And frankly, women don't belong in men's private spaces either. It would also prevent males from competing against females in athletics in schools. And that is important because we need to be protecting our ladies. We need to be protecting these women, these girls. My friend Amy Thornton did an episode and just released it today, actually, on her channel, Beacon News West Virginia. She interviewed Nyla and Shayna Thompson. Nyla is a teenager who attends Kanawha County schools and has been to her school board to speak once, and also she went to West Virginia State House to testify and talk about her experience, her traumatic experience that she went through last August, where she witnessed a grown man in the changing room, the locker room of the teenagers there at her school. And he wasn't in there minding his own business. He was in there gawking at the girls. He was in there just staring them down, having his own good little time, apparently. And that's just crap that needs to stop, folks. We've got to kill this kind of insanity. The other bill, House Bill 4654. This one would remove the obscenity exemptions. I talked about that in the last Lion Tribe episode. This would remove the protections that K through 12 public schools, public libraries, and museums have, that where they are able to expose children to obscenity, obscene material, overtly sexual material that um, is ideologically driven. And by that, I mean, of course, they use LGBTQ, ETC folks, and uh, they use marginalized people as a shield to expose kids to uh, graphic sexual topics. That way, if you try to get rid of the book, if you try to um, raise awareness about a specific book that you know for a fact does not belong in the hands of minor children, they'll try to accuse you of being racist or xenophobic or sexist or homophobic, of course. Last one, this is one that I've been advocating for, is House Bill 4299. This is a teacher carry bill. It would allow for trained school personnel, trained, that's key. They would be trained school personnel to carry concealed firearms on school premises. This is a great bill, actually. It would protect kids. The way I see it, if we have armed security constantly surrounding our politicians, why would we not also have armed security protecting our children? All right, that's enough talking about bills that I've been advocating for. Let's see. Don't think I have any viewers right now, but if anyone's watching or if you're watching right now, please comment and let me know that you're hearing what I'm saying here. Um, just a quick reminder, the name Lion Tribe, I came up with that getting a little creative with um, Bible verses, Bible verse, and just the word tribe, of course, comes from the use of um, the 12 tribes of Israel, and tribes just being used throughout Scripture. And of course, the main verse that uh, it comes from is Proverbs 28:1. The wicked flee when no man pursueth, the righteous are bold as a lion. And then lion is all in all caps because it's an acronym. It stands for liberate, as in liberating children from harm. Investigate. So this is one of the focuses of the business, investigating news reports, investigating um, rumors, even um, uh, talk on the town, what's going on involving kids. And organize is the O. Organize, meaning network with other like minded individuals in order to achieve the same goals. What are our goals? Well, protect the unborn from being murdered, uh, protect children from being trafficked by monsters that are out there, that are in our very neighborhoods, raising awareness, teaching young people, teaching families how to recognize the signs of human trafficking, how to avoid it. Uh, and then, of course, um, let me just finish the acronym. I probably should do that. The N stands for negating, which just means canceling out the evil, negating the evil that's aimed at kids. Um, I apologize, folks. Sometimes I do ramble. Excuse me. All right. And just a reminder also, for those of you who might be new to my channel, who might not have been following me for very long, I have my wall of nuns back here. These are my beautiful ladies. Wonderful ladies. They're not creepy at all, right? Don't you dare call my ladies creepy. Anyways, this is my wall of nuns who are very non threatening. Um, I got a little creative in blowing up some photos and hanging them up here because back in 2022, when I was running for Board of Education, I got invited to be on a podcast by a gentleman who runs a business, a firearm business. He sells and firearms and trains people and how to handle them safely. And um, excuse me, on that podcast, or the background was a wall full of guns that he had on his that he had set up just on display. And there was me and 3 other Board of Education members running, and some of the anti-gun people freaked out, the people in our community, and they're like, "Oh, why would people who are running for Board of Education be sitting in front of a wall of guns?" And I just had to laugh at that. I thought it was so comical, that reaction. Overreacting over inanimate objects that can't do a darn thing, sitting there on the wall. And like, they didn't jump off the wall and harm me during the podcast. So I made it out safe and sound somehow. Thank you, Jesus. Um, but that's why I decided to have my wall of nuns for comedic effect. And I hope you like that, because it's for you, dear viewer. You too, Facebook viewers. Listen, I like to have fun. I know I talk about serious topics a lot, but I like to have fun. Anybody who knows me in real life knows that I'm very laid back. Um, I like to be goofy, but when it's time to talk about serious stuff, I will talk about the serious stuff, and I will be as honest with you as possible without trying to go overboard with some of the information that I share. I try not to be an oversharer. Hey, what y'all think about the merch, by the way? My lovely, lovely wife made me a logo. She didn't create the hat, but she made the original logo, which I got printed on business cards and on this wonderful mug. Can you see it says, "Be bold as lions"? That's pretty cool. And then I hired a gentleman who owns a business that paints designs on shirts and hats and different apparel, and snakes paint. His name is Troy Dunmeyer. Awesome guy. Very talented, as you can see, because he painted this. Okay. One of the other things I want to talk about, along with logo talk, was my upcoming episode. So for the first time, I'm planning on Hello Detroit Street Tales, coming from Michigan. I'm doing good. How are you? Thanks for joining me on my first ever live. So, anyways, I got sidetracked. My next episode, I'm planning on doing my first ever interview with somebody. So for right now, I pre-record all the Line Tribe episodes. I am not talented enough to do them all live just yet. It's good to hear. Good to hear. So in the next Line Tribe episode, I'm planning on interviewing a woman, an acquaintance / friend of mine, who I've interacted with quite a bit line. We've chatted. We've had at least one Zoom call where I got to know her a little bit and her story. I want to get her story out to the world. Her story is important. And with me here in my itty bitty channel, um, I think it would be a good experience for her and for me, um, for us to do our first ever video interview. So I'm pretty excited about that next episode. On this, trying to go up my notes here. One of the other things I wanted to talk about briefly is recruiting for the tribe. So, as I mentioned earlier, for now, I'm mostly a one-man show. I do get a tad bit of help here and there from folks on the side, folks giving advice, folks that are just kind of pushing me along, encouraging me. Um, but I do officially have roles that can be filled in the business. Uh, um, so let me list them off. So from the beginning, I've always been looking for somebody who's willing to join in on this podcast from time to time. Maybe not consistently, but um, just whenever they're available. I do have one person that's available to do that, so I might have him on here soon. I'll have to reach out to him. This position, of course, would only be for people who are willing to put their face and voice out there to the world. I need some people who are skilled and willing to work on website management, um, and people who can help advertise, uh, creating and promoting online flyers and notices. Somebody to help manage the social media sphere of the business. Looking for people who can help me investigate uh, the information that I'm looking for. And when I say investigate, I don't mean like you have to go out and find in-depth research articles and read it and then send me a snippet um, or try to give me your interpretation. You can maybe skim it, and if it looks like an interesting topic that applies to the business of protecting kids, feel free to send it my way. If something is going on that you want to expose, something going on in your local school or community where children are being harmed in some form or fashion, physically, mentally, spiritually, if you want to help expose that, you can uh, help me with my research / investigation by being an anonymous source for me. You can email the Lion Tribe at h3bomb@protonmail.com, and you can send me anonymous tips. If you want to be anonymous, you have to specifically tell me that. Okay. Um, I will still probably check when you do first email me some sort of information. Um, Double check that to see if you are okay with me sharing your identity. Um, but yeah, I'm always open to anonymous information that can help me in my endeavors in exposing the darkness, shining a light into the darkness. All right. So, other positions open in the Lion Tribe would be somebody who's skilled at writing, somebody who's got a passion for blogging, putting out articles from time to time. They don't have to be, um, they do not have to be in depth articles. They can be short 3-paragraph articles for all I care, as long as it's something to just help inform um, the viewers and fans of the Lion Tribe. And then, of course, people who are always willing to just join in on activism from time to time, going to protests, um, maybe even going to uh, political events or special events, going undercover. That's one thing that the Lion Tribe has done a couple times, going undercover, because we are part of our duty is to inform the public, because we are a registered business that does journalism. So we can go undercover. We can do reporting. A good bit of this stuff is just going to be citizen journalism. Important to mention, though, is none of these positions are paid positions right now. These are all just volunteer work, joining the Lion Tribe. Right now, I make no money, but I am always looking for people who are willing to donate to the Lion Tribe. So if you have just $1, if you have $5, just spare change laying around, I could definitely use your donation. And if you go to the Lion Tribe website, you can find the donation link on there. It's easy to find. I still have it active up on GiveSendGo. You can always donate to the tribe. Eventually, I want to get it to where I can market the merchandise, sell hats, sell shirts. If you want to help in that aspect, you'd be able to help grow the Lion Tribe business, while at the same time you get something for your money, not just improving the business. But if important to mention also, if you do donate to the Lion Tribe, what's your money going to go to? It's going to go to upgrades for this channel, like sound, audio, visual equipment, things to just improve the appearance, improve what people are hearing, improve the tribe's ability to expand. And West Virginia, our primary focus of activism and information is going to be here in this state. But I've already talked about things going on in Ohio. I've talked about some things going on in Maryland before, neighboring states. I want to branch out and continue to inform about other states as well. I apologize. I've gotten to rambling again. Do you react to religion state violations? If by that you mean the state violating our religious freedoms, then absolutely I do react to that. All right, well, it has already been almost 29 minutes now for this live stream, first ever. I've touched on pretty much all the topics I intended to. I've rambled a little bit. If you're watching this later on, feel free to still leave a comment. Feel free. Oh, don't feel free. Definitely give this video a like and share it with others. That is another way you can help. If you don't have money to donate, just simply like the video, share it, comment on it. This helps the algorithm for my social media, for the business's social media. It increases views. Just a simple click of the thumbs up button, and it helps to amplify the Lion Tribe's voice. So I will close, as I always do on the episodes. Remember, folks, be bold as Lions.